listening to the Fayetteville 411 podcast, produced by the City of Fayetteville, where you will get information about city government and the programs and services they provide. You'll get topics of interest and an inside look into the various departments that help keep our city moving. I'm John Salling, Public Information Specialist with City of Fayetteville, and a military brat.
And I'm Alex Drew, Public Information Specialist for the City of Fayetteville and an Army military spouse. Thanks for listening to the Fayetteville 411 podcast. This podcast is just one way that the city shares information with our residents. And today we're doing things a little differently, as John and I have some of our own experience to share on the topic as well. We invited Lindsey Acosta, a military spouse of an active duty soldier stationed at Fort Bragg, to talk about what it's like coming to Fayetteville in service of our country with your family. Hi, Lindsey.
Hello.
Hey,
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I'll start a little personal thing. I met Lindsey almost 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago? Just about, because we're in 2025 through a women's group that I run. We met through a book club and have now since been together doing all the fun girl gang things.
Alex has expanded my reading horizons. I'm strictly a rom-com girly, but for book club, I make exceptions.
Yes,
Ooh,
and we are honored.
And it's very exciting to have two prominent members of our kind of community organizers here on the show as well. We're glad to have you guys.
Yeah. I'll share a little bit about myself in the military space. I'm Alex Drew. My husband has been in the Army just about 10 years now. He is a company commander in the 82nd Airborne. Artillery is his trade, so all the fun big guns, I've heard them all, but that is not why I have hearing loss. And we've been here about 3.5 years, which is abnormally long for a officer in the Army, and I feel very lucky. I'm a Soldier Family Readiness Group senior advisor, so that means for our battalions, I help give support to families and events and fun things. And this past summer, I actually won Volunteer of the Quarter for the 82nd Airborne Division Artillery, and I was very honored to receive that. But I love our community and I love our families here.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Alex is head of social media here with the City of Fayetteville. And if you can't tell from all of that, wonderfully involved in the community, very active and doing a very good job here. We're glad to have you.
I'm a little tired all the time, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And Lindsey, tell us a little bit about yourself. I understand that you grew up in Fayetteville and you've returned to the area twice now. How does it, you've been here for a few years. What's been your experience?
Yeah, so people love to say that, Bragg and Fayetteville is, you always boomerang. You're never here for your last time. You always come. Yes, yep. You always come back, and that has certainly been my experience. I went to high school here, was the 10th graduating class out of Jack Britt. Go Buccaneers. I had to fit that in there. I had wonderful teachers at Jack Britt, went to college in Charlotte. And then did the thing that I told myself I'd never do, which was, when you go to high school in a military town, I will never marry a guy in the military. And I did that. Never say never. And now, actually, this week is our 10th wedding anniversary. Yes, my husband joined the Army. He was a military brat, and he joined the Army to see the world. And his first duty station was with the 82nd Airborne, which worked out great. It allowed him to long-distance date me between Charlotte and Fayetteville, and this was our first duty station. And now we're back here. We got stationed here. And so now I've experienced Fayetteville as a high school student, college student, newlywed, and now mother of 2 kids and wife. So, yeah. It's kind of this cool thing where Fayetteville keeps evolving and I keep evolving, and there's creature comforts here and there's new stuff here. Mm-hmm. And I've loved to see how the area has grown over the years for sure.
And if you were to pick a couple things, how have you seen Fayetteville change over the last?
Oh my gosh, there's definitely been, you can see just a huge investment in just the overall, beautification of Fayetteville.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is a thing. There used to just be, okay, strip mall here, strip mall there, and now it's like the parks have really been invested in. And I can't tell if that's because, you know, before when I lived here, I didn't have kids. So, you know, as a young 20-something with no kids, am I paying a lot of attention to parks other than the running trails? No, not really. But now that I'm coming back, it was this neat thing of like, okay, where are the splash pads? Where are the parks? Where can I take my kids for free? Because the activities adds up. I've definitely learned as a mom. So finding all those free resources around the city, I will say that's one thing that I've just noticed is a lot better. And again, I don't know if that's because now I'm a mom and I notice it or what it is, but we definitely are big park users here.
I know something we've talked about in book club, and I always say I'm Fayetteville's #1 fan. You will not find a hater in me, is the misconceptions in Fayetteville. I feel like Lindsey and I are towing the line a lot about how much we love Fayetteville.
We ride hard for Fayetteville.
Oh, God, yes. And something we've always talked about is like the misconceptions. There's nothing to do, things like that. And I'll always say, like, what do you mean there's nothing to do? 4th Fridays, Dickens Festival, like Juneteenth, Christmas in the park. I know we've talked about it, but like when people have that misconception, like how do you combat that? Like what things do you tell them about? I know you were talking about the parks, but I know that's something you value a lot, especially as a mom of two young children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of the first things I ask when people are like, oh, man, Fayetteville, you know, you hear it a lot among military spouses. I can't wait to get out of here. I can't wait till we PCS. And the first thing I ask people is, well, where have you been? Where have you gotten out to? Because sometimes it's just about knowing the places to go, finding your place there. For some people, it's the cafes like Curate and Blanc and Vagabond. And for some people, it's the parks, the running trails. There's tons of run clubs around here. So I always ask people, where have you tried? And 9 times out of 10, they haven't gotten out much to see what's around. And maybe it's intimidating. It is a big area. There's a lot of little pockets of Fayetteville to explore, and it's hard to know where to start, right? So I always just kind of ask people, where have you been so far? And then I actually was just doing this the other day. We were at a event for my husband's work, and I was like, can I have your phone? I'm just going to type in a couple places I love to go. Yeah. And then that way you have my number. And if you have any questions about these places, like, text me. I always say I'm a Fayetteville evangelist. I will get you to love Fayetteville one way or another. There's so much that this area has to offer, and you just have to go out and find it, really.
We kind of end up in the trenches where we're always making promos for all of these events and all of these organizations. And so we have that different perspective, like we need to make sure that these people get this information we're trying to make available. And we appreciate all the Fayetteville evangelists that we can find.
I'm stealing that. That's going to be in my Instagram bio, Fayetteville evangelist.
And so talking about some of those parks, facilities, programs, and some of those things around town that you might point out to people, recommend to people, what are some that come to mind? What are some of your first stops?
One place I always tell people to start with is Clark Park. It's got so much more to offer than just a park. There's a nature center there that you can go in, and it's got trails that connect to Cape Fear River Trail, amazing views of the bridge and the river down there if you go far enough down the trail. And then the actual playground, too, which is huge for me. I mean, the majority of the people I'm friends with have kids ages 1 month to 6 years old. And so I love telling people to go to Clark Park because it has something to offer for every age of kid. Very stroller-friendly trails. The playground is super age-friendly. And the Nature Center is just so unique. Yeah. It's very rare to see a place that has an actual, dedicated, building to educating the kids. I don't know if it's a taxidermy in there. It is so, and the kids think it's so real. Yes. It is so cute to see a 2-year-old's reaction to this ferret they have in this woodland scene. If you haven't checked it out, it's just one of those, there's no describing it to do it justice. You just have to go and see it.
And you can feed the turtles. Yes. You can watch the snakes be fed and all the little box turtles. And I'm sorry, what kid doesn't want to drop some lettuce? Yes. For a turtle to eat. That's iconic for a child.
And it's free. I mean, which huge selling point for all the military spouses I'm always talking to. They're like, okay, what can I go to? Because especially with the colder weather and things like that, I need more indoor activities. I'm like, there's a nature center that's indoors. I mean, you can't beat it for that.
Honestly, blew my mind when I first found it too, because it is almost, it's not a zoo, but they do have like a turtle, a snake,
Yes.
like they've got a surprising variety of live animals, bugs.
And it's just kind of tucked into the woods, so unsuspecting. You walk in, you're like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. Yeah.
And they've got so many fun activities and learning opportunities. I remember when they had like October, the little baby gator, when they had her there, like you could pet it and they talked about the life cycle and why they rehab. You know, it's like so unique to have that in a town like Fayetteville.
What are some of the ways that you're finding out about programs in the community, Lindsey, since we have this perspective here and can kind of pick your brain? And what are some of the maybe places that you point people to find out about things?
Definitely social media is huge. The bullet point, like things to do this weekend in Fayetteville, where you click and hold the screen and you screenshot it.
Yep.
You know, I have a running group chat with my friends, and it'll be something. I have to get my toddler out of the house. What are you guys doing today? What is there for kids to do today? And I just, super easy, screenshot, send. Like, these are the different events we have today. I mean, and timestamp too. These are the events from like 1 to 4. These are the events from like 6 to 5 or 6 to 8. And so that is super, easy button to press on just finding events for that weekend, for that month, especially right now with the holiday season. There's always something.
Oh, yeah.
And there's something for everybody too. So, yeah, I point people to social media because it's like they can say it way better than I can.
Yeah, our partners at Distinctly Fayetteville really do a great job with partnering with the city and really pushing events to bring people here and support local. I think that's really impactful for our community.
Big users of the Cumberland County headquarters library and that huge play area they have for kids. That, my kids beg me to go back to that. And I'm like, it's free. I can't say no.
Absolutely.
Like, of course. Yeah. So, but I love some of the stuff that MWR puts on. I love what they're doing.
A person should live the change they want to see in their community. Lindsey, how are you active in this community?
So I am actually a business owner and a fitness instructor. And the way I kind of meld those two hats that I wear is I run a stroller fitness group. Which primarily seeks to provide opportunities for moms who they don't have childcare. The majority of the gyms, whether on post or off post, if they do have childcare, it costs, and a lot of them don't have it. So the hurdle that we as military spouses and mothers run into is, well, my spouse is TDY, my spouse is deployed, my spouse is working late. How do I maintain any sort of mental health, physical health, while I have a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old, right? And so there's mom nights out that we do, in which we do a lot of stuff downtown. We'll go to Masrick Park, we'll go to Clark Park, Honeycutt Park. In the summer, we hit up all of the splash pads. Because again, I'm always trying to find what are the free events that I can introduce these military spouses that are afraid to leave base and have heard things about Fayetteville. And I love to show them, hey, this is all out here. You just haven't seen it yet.
And the city's been putting a big focus on splash pads and trying to make more of those available in the community.
And it's just so like all ages friendly, really. We have moms who have kids from, 3 months old to 8 years old. And what other activity can a 3-month-old, splash around and while their mom's holding them and like have the biggest smile on their face, and the same time an 8-year-old's running around. Yeah. And so it's really cool to see how the little kids interact with the big kids too. But yeah, splash pads are where it's at for sure in the summer here.
I love
awesome.
that.
Yeah. Speaking of living the change they want to see in their community, Alex, would you want to chime in on this a little bit as well?
Yeah, I can't speak to it as a parent. It's just me and my husband. But something I was always really passionate about is getting involved in my community. All my friends know I am a super extrovert. If I meet you, I will probably become your friend, and I love to yap. So I wanted to find a way to play to my strengths. And the first way was with a women's group that Lindsey and I are part of that I run called Fayetteville Girl Gang. We're just, on Instagram, doing book club, having, dinner clubs and different activities, but getting involved in my community with other people that know what it's like. And then something I'm super, super passionate about is the SFRG, the Soldier Family Readiness Groups. I got involved as a girlfriend, which is not super usual. Fundraising during All-American Week, which is a yearly experience to celebrate the 82nd Airborne. They always do a run and all sorts of funny, silly activities. I've jumped out of the 34-foot jump tower. I know Lindsey has. It's a terrifying experience.
I thought it was fun.
Oh, my God.
34-foot jump tower. Is this on rappel or?
So you're, hooked up to, you have your little jump pack on and a harness, and you have to step off the tower, and
my husband criticized me. Apparently I did a little bunny hop off, and you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to just step off.
Okay, sure.
But I was like, how do you just step out into air? What am I stepping
just walk right
on?
off.
But they do it all the time and out of large aircraft and from way higher. And
no, thank you.
It's kind of a parachute simulator.
Yeah.
Yes, this is why we're spouses and not service members.
Absolutely.
It's not for us.
Yeah.
Love them.
But no, thank you.
That's their life.
In that kind of environment, you have, as I call them, baby soldiers and baby spouses. They are freshly 18. They don't really know their left from right. They've never left home. They got married really young, and they want help, and they want assistance and support. And I was there to guide them not only in on-base, but also off-base activities, as I'm going to steal Lindsey's term, a Fayetteville evangelist. I was always trying to push them to things. I started a newsletter with events on base and off base. I'm really trying to invest into our community, and that's something I think is so missed, is community. It takes a village to function, and you have to build into your village to get it right back. And I think that goes for parents and also single people and also married people. I don't know where I would be today without my military and also just Fayetteville community in general. It's how I came to the city, was through a friend and, developing here. I think it's so underappreciated what finding a community wherever you go, especially here in such a large city, backed up to the largest military base by population. Finding that community in that village is so vital here.
And so what's some of the greater change that you want to see in Fayetteville for military families?
It's really about getting the information out there. If people knew about it, they are going to go to it. And that's the first thing people will say. I just didn't know we had this. I didn't know this was a thing. And it's like, it's been here. It's on social media.
Yep.
And so sharing more of that, if you're a person who uses it. Share about it. Don't just keep all the good stuff to yourself, especially free resources. There's no scarcity in parks here. There's no scarcity in walking trails. So if you're using it, share it so that people know about it, so that people know, Fayetteville is great to get out and explore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I have a unique perspective as somebody that was non-city and then came to the city at a later point. Seeing more highlights of our military families. We make up such a large percentage of the population, including Fort Bragg. A lot of people come to Fayetteville for their grocery shopping, for their activities and things. I would love to see that emphasis on how are we supporting our military families. I think we do a pretty decent job, and I enjoy seeing the activities we have available. I mean, our summer camps, our after-school camps, I know we have programs with Parks and Rec, where if they can provide care on days that you might not have off as a military member, but kids have off from school, or if mom needs help, or, we have summer programs and things like that. We've got our summer camps. I think it's really important to continue emphasizing what resources we have for families, especially with childcare and camps. I mean, we have the amazing music workshops right now going on in Orange Street schools, teaching kids basic piano, basic drumming. I mean, that's incredible and not something everyone would be able to afford. And it's so affordable and easily accessible for our families here.
Sure. That's awesome. And what's something unique about military family life that maybe you would want people out of the military to understand better? Lindsey, I'm going to bring that back to you here.
Yeah. Was it Drake that said, "I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time"?
Yep.
That is us. Alex is one of the rarities that she's been here for 3.5 years. I've never lived anywhere in our military life longer than 2.5 years. And so that is one thing I would love, local Fayetteville people to get is connect with us, even if it's just for a short time. My kids go to a dance studio here. It's very established in Fayetteville. It's mostly locals that make it up. But the way the teachers, the older dancers, the fellow dancers, their same age, have embraced my kids, even though we're a military family and they know we're probably going to move soon. And the way they've just kind of invited them into the fold has been so sweet to see. I know a lot of times people don't want to get very close to you because they know that they're going to say bye to you soon. And I get it. It's a protection measure. We do it too as military families. But that is one thing I would say to our local community is embrace us, love us, even if it's just for a short time, and invite us into your community because we want to be a part of it and we want to get to know people who are locals. We don't always just want to be around people just like us our whole life. That's part of the fun of military life is moving to these new places, getting to live like a local there for a little bit, and then finding a new place to do that again. And so that's one thing I would say is just, even if it's not a long time, just love us while we're here.
That's really cute. I like that. Love us while we're here.
Yep.
And I'm glad to hear the kids are finding that here as well. Yeah. I remember that from growing up. That can be hard.
Yes. Yeah. And that's one thing, I really try to instill in our kids, without saying it bluntly. Like, obviously you can't say to a 4 and 6-year-old, hey, we're not here for a long time, so you have to make the most of it. You don't want to put that pressure on them. But that is one thing I do everywhere we live is where we are, we're going to love the one we're with. Right now, we're loving Fayetteville because that's the one we're with. And wherever we go next, we're going to love the one we're with. And you make the most out of where you are, because if you have the option of living somewhere and being like, gosh, I can't wait to get out of this place, or living somewhere and being like, this place has so much to offer, which one would you choose? And come on, be honest. Like, you can be negative about it and be like, there's nothing here to offer me, or you can be like, let's find our spots that we love here and be a local here.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And on that note, as you're trying to find your spot here in Fayetteville, when you want information about things like our Home Buying Hero program to help you afford a house, checking out our Parks and Rec Department activities, programs, and facilities, or anything else that the city can provide, you can go to FayettevilleNC.gov.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode of the Fayetteville 411. Thank you so much to my wonderful friend Lindsey for coming on today. We really appreciate you sharing your time as a busy mom. The Fayetteville 411 is one of several podcasts that the city produces for our podcast channel, Radio Fayetteville, as we provide timely and informative updates on a variety of topics related to the city of Fayetteville.
You can also listen to every podcast that Radio Fayetteville has to offer by downloading the Fay TV streaming app, available now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV. You can find it wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can view all of our video content by visiting faytv.net. To get information about city services, go to our webpage at fayettevilleNC.gov. Thanks for joining us, and thank you again, Lindsey. We appreciate having you.
Thank you so much.